I have a message for you from Archangel Michael. A certain window for planet Earth's ascension has closed. If you want to know what that means, then keep on watching. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean. Welcome to my channel where I give you the knowledge you need to awaken and ascend with clarity and confidence. Now, I know a lot of people are looking for answers about what in the world is going on with our planet. So I was talking with Archangel Michael the other day, and he informed me that a certain window for Earth's ascension has actually closed. Now, this does not mean that Earth will never ascend. It absolutely will ascend. It's just that it's not likely to happen in the timeline that many people had hoped for. Now, the window that he was specifically talking about is the one related to the timeline split between natural ascension and the AI timeline. Now, there are some important things that I need to explain to you so you will understand what this means and exactly how it happened. So if this topic interests you, I strongly encourage that you watch this video all the way to the end because I have some very important information to share. Now, later in this video, I'm going to show you the exact physics of how it is that this particular ascension window has closed. So make sure you don't miss that. Now, the thing that is most concerning to Archangel Michael and to those who stand with him has to do with the subject of mind control. Now, this is a very significant topic because this is the key way that the controllers have used to maintain their grip on this planet. One of their key goals is to mind control people into complacency. This includes a type of spiritual complacency, and I'm going to explain exactly how it's done. The New Age has been a very effective vehicle for this type of mind control, as have religions. Both have had some good things, but they've also been fraught with a lot of deception for many, many years. And here's something else very interesting. As we were talking, Archangel Michael brought up with me the subject of angels. He pointed out how religions have controlled our view of angels for thousands of years. And I want to share that part with you because I think it's really important. He said that religions have presented an extremely diminished and watered down version of how powerful angels really are. The angels have been presented as rather vague, almost superficial types of entities who have wings and generally help with life's difficulties and annoyances. And some religions don't even allow you to talk to the angels. That's how much they don't want you to discover who they really are and connect with their true power to help us at a much higher level. Now, he also said something that I kind of already knew, which is that angels don't actually have wings. He said they're not really a type of human-bird hybrid species of life. He said the wings are actually symbolic. They are an ancient symbolism that is partly designed to make humans believe that the realm of the angels is unattainable. It was designed to make humans believe that there is an unattainable hierarchy in the universe in order to keep them in their place as subservient beings. So he said we can feel free to dispense with the theory of bird wings on angels. See, the primary role of angels and archangels is to show you what is actually possible for you. He said that angels were never meant to be like nursemaids to planets of hopeless, suffering people. They are actually here to show you through energetic resonance what you yourself are capable of. That's what they can do when you truly understand them in their most powerful form. They are here to remind us of our power. So that is only one example of how religions have been notorious at controlling our perception of the universe. And then he shared something with me that is absolutely fascinating. He showed me the prime method of spiritual mind control that the controllers use to keep people complacent and pacified while the controllers systematically unfold their agenda. One of their favorite methods of spiritual mind control is what Archangel Michael calls the carrot and stick method. Have you ever seen the image of a slave donkey pulling a cart with a stick tied to its head that holds a dangling carrot in front of the animal? The animal is being used as a slave to work for its controllers. The carrot represents the promise of a reward if the donkey just keeps going. The donkey believes that if it keeps going, it is eventually going to reach that carrot, which of course it never does. So the donkey is actually being mind controlled by the dangling carrot. Instead of using its energy to escape, which is what would be its natural tendency, it is using its energy to get the elusive carrot while doing precisely what its controllers want. The donkey is operating under a complete illusion because it doesn't see the underlying structure being used to control it. So spiritual mind control works in much the same way. A dangling carrot of future salvation is placed in front of the human subjects to give them hope, pacify them, and make them complacent. It's designed to take their focus off of their present situation and place it instead at some future point of promised happiness that they can't actually see. Archangel Michael told me that this is an ancient trick that is used on many slave planets to keep the human slaves under control and to keep them docile. He said that a classic example of this on our planet is the promise that Yeshua or Jesus would come back to save us. Well, how many times has that goalpost been moved? First, it was 500 years, then it was 1,000 years, and then it was 2,000 years. And it still hasn't happened. Just like the donkey who will keep walking to get that carrot, humans likewise will keep on working and walking through life under the false belief that salvation will somehow be bestowed upon them at a promised future date. Meanwhile, the controller's agenda marches on unimpeded while humans continue sleepwalking toward a future destination that never materializes. See, the goalposts are always going to be moved. And now we see a similar thing happening with New Age thinking related to the promise of planetary ascension and the so-called New Earth. I mean, that goalpost has already been moved quite a number of times. But now we are running into a huge problem. Our physical reality is just not matching up with that promise. So Archangel Michael wants us to know that a certain planetary ascension window has closed, so you have time to remove yourself from the trap of false promises and stay on your own personal ascension path of evolution. I think it's important to notice that something very weird is starting to take place in the New Age. The fact that a certain ascension window has closed is becoming more and more apparent on a physical level. This planet is not moving in a positive, life-giving, and life-enhancing direction. It's actually moving headfirst into the AI universe. So our actual physical reality is on a grand collision course with the false promises of a New Age paradise that is supposedly just around the corner. Here is how this is being handled in some New Age circles of thought. We are being told that the destruction of our species and our world that we are now experiencing, we're being told that that is necessary for our ascension. We are being told that the ensuing trauma and misery is a necessary and important part of this process. We are being told that the abuse that's being done to us as a humanity is in preparation for the promise of a new earth paradise. They say that we have to see the face of evil in order to wake up and ascend. Guys, this is ridiculous. Seeing the face of evil as we are being crushed by that very same evil only promotes feelings of fear and helplessness. Ascension does not look like this. Ascension is a powerful process of light, beauty, and profound, inspiring revelations. I mean, here's what Archangel Michael said. He said that ascension is by no means enacted by destroying a species of biological life and turning it into a giant planetary cyborg fueled by human souls. Because you guys, that is their plan. Now, I'm not trying to say that the people who are trying to make this all sound so positive are willingly participating in this form of spiritual mind control. I think they are mostly trying to hold on to something positive because they don't know what else to do. But here's what they're not accounting for. The controllers can easily influence us through this particular form of mind control. I mean, it's extremely easy for them to do. They can do it through extraterrestrial means. They can do it interdimensionally. They can do it through technology. We already know they've been doing it through religions. And this is why I always say that you must connect with your heart. Did you know that your heart is the only thing that the controllers do not have access to? They literally cannot touch your heart. But what they can do through mind control is they can get you to detach from your heart. They can get you to disconnect from the wisdom of your heart. They can easily sow seeds of doubt in your mind when it comes to trusting your heart's messages. See, once you detach and disconnect from your heart, you have actually broken your only lifeline to the real universe. And that is when you can be completely and totally controlled without you even knowing it. Now, here's something else that Archangel Michael wants you to know. He wants you to know that you have a choice. You can either wait and hope for this new age paradise to magically appear out of thin air, or you cannot waste another moment of your precious time and get on to the very important business of truly evolving as a human being. He said that staying on a path of human evolution is the most important thing that we have right now. And then he said this truly interesting thing that I think we all need to pay close attention to. He said, here's really the kind of unfortunate truth. He said that Lightworkers came here only to be firmly rejected by the vast majority of people on this planet. And that is something that I think we can all see for ourselves if we just look at our own experiences. I think at some point we have to accept the fact that most of the people on this earth have chosen to stay on the same path that this planet has been on for thousands of years. Most people really don't have an intention of switching to a much more profound trajectory. The overall consensus of belief still seems to be that anything beyond this ordinary programmed reality is just plain crazy. And anyone who believes in anything beyond this programmed reality is also crazy. See, the universe will always do everything possible to help move a planet and its people to a higher state of evolution. But it does require an active state of willingness and participation. And currently on planet Earth, the majority of people are still heavily invested in the controller's agenda and are openly rejecting anything outside of that. Now, the fact that this particular ascension window has closed for this planet does not mean that there is no hope for humanity. There is always hope. See, in the case of our planet right now, we are really talking about a limitation of time. The limitation in time that marks this particular closed ascension window has to do with the fact that AI has reached a critical mass of taking over this planet. See, it functions like a wave. So let me kind of show you a little bit about the physics of how it is that this window has closed and why it has happened. Imagine that you have a certain trajectory or a timeline that looks like a hill or a wave. So initially, the controllers and their AI agenda starts over here and starts to move up toward the crest of that hill. Now, initially, the progression is slow because AI is alien to the nature of this planet. So nature is producing resistance to its movement. So you can think of that resistance as being like gravity. So in other words, if you're climbing a hill, gravity is working against you. So you could say in a way, as AI or that AI agenda is climbing that hill of that trajectory, it's going to be encountering the resistance of nature, the resistance of the fact that it is alien to everyone on the planet. But at some point, it reaches the top of that hill, it reaches the crest, and then it starts to go down. And now gravity begins to work in its favor, and there is a tremendous amount of acceleration in the unfolding of that agenda. So critical mass is reached when that agenda reaches the crest of that hill and starts to go over the other side, where now nothing is producing the level of resistance that it produced in the early stages. So when Archangel Michael says that a certain ascension window has closed, what he means is that we have just reached the crest and passed over the crest of that hill. Now, he said that the job of Lightworkers, and part of the reason Lightworkers came here, was to hopefully hold back the movement of that agenda as it moved toward the crest, to give people a chance and to help people wake up so they could maybe change their mind about the direction this planet was going in. But the problem is that not enough people were interested in time. So the larger purpose of Archangel Michael asking me to give you this message is to give you an opportunity to clear the slate and reset your consciousness to align with the current situation. He wants you to know that your own experience of ascension can never be held back by a singular planet that doesn't want to go in that direction, unless, of course, you want it to hold you back. So he suggests that you continue to focus on your own ascension and your own evolutionary journey, because there is still a window of opportunity for individuals. He said that you do not need to tie your energy to the downward spiral that this planet is currently on. He said that not every planet can be saved from an AI takeover. He said that in the case of Earth, it was always a long shot. And that's because the people here are so heavily invested in being subservient and in being controlled. Now, he did say that Earth will eventually ascend because the entire universe is ascending. But what's happening now is just one example of the many twists and turns that life can take in the universe as it seeks to evolve. So hopefully this will give you a sense of freedom to be able to continue on your own journey of evolution in this universe. You do not have to try and save planet Earth. It's really not in our power to do so anyway. Now, I know there are people who say that we all came here to shift the entire collective of this planet. I want to point something out to you guys. We really don't have the right to do that, because all of these other people also have free will. It's not our role to shift their consciousness any more than we would want someone else trying to shift our consciousness unbeknownst to us. That's really something to think about, right? The best thing that we can all do is to stay on an ascension path ourselves. That will always, always act as a contributing force to the whole planet, regardless of its current trajectory. And also remember this, you can think of the universe as a womb within which all the stars and planets reside. This is really our time to let go and allow the universe to bring this planet into a much larger process that is beyond the reach of our human hands. That larger process could take untold eons of time. I mean, there's really no way for us to know from where we sit right now. For now, we just need to accept what is happening and stay invested in our own ascension journeys. And we can still continue to bring love and light and high vibrational energy into this situation, because this doesn't mean that there's still not a great opportunity for people to continue waking up. So that wave of awakening will continue to happen. The ascension window that Archangel Michael is talking about is more to do with a planetary window for the entire Earth itself. So the main thing to do is just continue to raise your own vibration, continue on your own journey, continue to contribute and to serve in whatever way you can, because there are still going to be people who are still going to want to awaken and shift their consciousness onto an ascension timeline. And I will, of course, continue to bring you information and support about how to continue navigating our planetary situation and stay at the highest possible level of consciousness. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if so, please give it a thumbs up and share it out for anyone else who you think would benefit from this information. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I am here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday with all new videos. And with that, I'm sending you so much love, light, and positive energy. And I so look forward to seeing you in the next video. Namaste.